When it comes to aiding the disadvantaged in Boystown, images of troubled homeless or conflicted drug dealers may come to mind. These are the individuals you openly see on the streets or read about in the headlines. However, there is another group of individuals that use the streets of Boystown for their sources of income: male prostitutes. Though not often recognizable, there is a population of individuals who hustle in Boystown during all hours of the day. You may be asking, why haven't I noticed these supposed hustlers before? This is because male prostitutes have no special look about them. They don't wear the stereotypical garb of sky-high heels and short skirts that we associate with female prostitution. Often, male prostitutes just look like any other young male, a face in the crowd. Just because the problem is not noticeable to our eyes does not mean that the problem of male prostitution is absent in this community. I urge you to wade with me through the possible causes and commonalities of male prostitution, in order to understand that they are a minority that is in desperate need of aid. Most think of female prostitution when the illegal sex industry in this country is mentioned. It is not very often that we think of the world of male hustlers. According to a study done by Laws.com, though, male prostitution makes up 20% of the national prostitution population. That is not a small minority. If we do think about the male hustling lifestyle, images of sweaty Richard Gere's probably pop into our heads. Or maybe we think of the HBO show Hung, which is a light, serial-comic take on a man becoming a hustler to support his middle-class lifestyle. Pop culture seems to sensationalize the world of male prostitution. If a man decides he wants to hustle, he is not entering a world that is dark and seedy. That is something we would rather associate with female prostitution. Instead, society likes to think that the male is actually enjoying his job, getting pleasure from it. In reality, though, the world of male prostitution tends to be constructed from a foundation of abuse and addiction. A study in Washington, D.C. by D. Kelly Weisberg found that 72% of male American hustlers used illicit drugs while hustling. These addictions then fuel the hustlers' financial needs, which makes them hustle in the first place. Since Weisberg found that 87% of male prostitutes do so because of the financial reasons, she concluded that early sexual experiences of these youth teach them the value of their body as a commercial asset. They begin at an early age to realize that sexual encounters can be a source of money. Now, it would be ridiculous to say that every male hustler does so because of abuse or neglect from the past. However, statistics show that a large majority do have a history of coming from broken families. One study in D.C. found that only 27% of young hustlers came from families with both parents present. Another national study found that only 18% had an intact family. And even when an apparently intact family existed, the relationships were broken. The main issue with turning a blind eye to the world of male prostitution, specifically gay male prostitution, is that this illicit sex industry further perpetuates sexually transmitted diseases into society. Robert McNamara, a researcher in New York, found that many hustlers would continue to hustle even after they found out that they were HIV positive. These hustlers then would bring the disease into our daily lives in sexual excursions. Not much research has been performed on the issues of male prostitution in Boystown specifically. However, there are multiple organizations that will say that the issue is vastly present in the community. One such organization that aids male prostitutes in Boystown is Emmaus Ministries. Though a Christian-based organization, Emmaus Ministries is open to all types of volunteers, and their duties seem to encompass more of the civic sort. According to the website, for over 20 years, Emmaus Ministries has worked on the streets of Chicago, reaching out to men in prostitution. Through nightly outreach teams in a daytime ministry center, Emmaus staff and volunteers build relationships of trust with these men, working together to help them get off the streets. I urge you to get in contact with this organization. We can't really understand the aid these men need in our community unless we hear their stories for ourselves. This organization can provide such information. You can try a one-time immersion night with the organization in which you would walk the streets of Boystown actually talking to male hustlers. I believe that this is a low committal way to reach out to the community. If one wanted to become more involved, there are venues to donate money as well as programs that are more actively involved in aiding male prostitutes. No matter what your level of commitment is to the issue, please take some time to hear what these men actually have to say. By doing so, you will be connecting with a group of our community that is often overlooked. For more information on male prostitution, in Boystown, as well as outreach programs that aid these men, please get in contact with Emmaus Ministries at www.streets.org.